All right, so this is a suggestion via a donation. The name of the video is Dave Chappelle's hilarious Jim Carrey story. This is coming from The Dreamer. Let's go check this out, guys.
And what I remember most about that night was the pressure. For the show, I had to run out there on the avenue and hand out tickets to anybody who would take them because I couldn't even fill the room. Boy, what a difference 24 short years makes.
Okay. All right. All right, so we're kind of stumbling into this here with him talking about his overall success. Guys, I remember him from The Nutty Professor. That was, I'm sure, gigantic for him. And then even before that, he was on like Def Comedy Jam with the crazy hat on and things like that, guys. Dave Chappelle absolutely has come a gigantic distance in 24 years, no doubt.
4 years makes. And right before that time, my father had died. He never lived to see me do it. And when he died, I was inconsolable.
Right.
I thought I'd never smile or laugh again.
I can imagine.
And the only thing that got me out of that space was a comedian friend of mine, the late, great Norm Macdonald.
Okay.
That's right. Shout out to Norm. And what Norm did, which I'll never forget, is he knew that I was the biggest Jim Carrey fan in the world. Now, I'm not going to go all into it, but Jim Carrey is talented in a way that you can't practice, rehearse. What a God-given talent. I was
right, yeah, like Jim Carrey absolutely is just purely improv.
Fascinated with him.
In a great way.
And Norm knew that. And he called me up and he goes, Dave, he says, I'm doing a movie with Jim Carrey. Do you want to meet him? And I said, yes, I do. And it was the first time I could remember since my father died being excited.
Okay.
And the movie was called Man on the Moon. I didn't know any of this. And in this movie, Jim Carrey was playing another comedian I admired, the late, great Andy Kaufman. Yes, and Jim Carrey was so immersed in that role that from the moment he woke up to the time he went to bed at night, he would live his life as Andy Kaufman. I didn't know that. When they said cut, this nigga was...
Yeah, guys, a lot of actors do that.
Still, Andy Kaufman. So much so that everybody on the crew called him Andy. I didn't know any of that. I just went there to meet him, and when he walked into the room where we were supposed to meet, I screamed, Jim Carrey! And everyone said, no! What? Call him Andy.
Okay.
And I didn't understand. And then he came over and he was acting weird. I didn't know he was acting like Andy Kaufman. Just like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, hello. Andy? Now, in hindsight, how fucking lucky am I that I got to see one of the greatest artists of my time immersed in one of his most challenging processes ever. Very lucky to have seen that.
I mean, I'm sure that was everything for him. That was every single thing in the world for this man. Like after all of what he has gone through to get to kind of where he is, to the point where he gets to meet like one of his idols, guys, that's phenomenal. There's like nothing better in the world than that feeling, I am sure.
But as it was happening, I was very disappointed.
I mean,
because I wanted to meet Jim Carrey.
Okay.
And I had to pretend this was Andy Kaufman all afternoon.
Right.
And he was clearly Jim Carrey. I could look at him and I could see he was Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Anyway, I say all that to say, that's how trans people make me feel.
Oh, God, guys. Here we go. All right. Okay, that was a straight setup. I see what you guys did here. How do you logic this out? Now, how do you honestly sit here and attempt to make logic out of this conversation now? I don't know, right? I mean, I think you guys got me. You got me stumbled. I am just going to stumble over myself going forward until this video is over. Just going to let you guys know this. We're going to try to... Okay, Dave Chappelle is always going to Dave Chappelle conversations, okay? Let's just be honest here. The issue or lack of issue or thought of all of these things, right? I mean, they can't... You see what I'm saying here? He does it a lot. It seems to be a very, a common typical talking point for him because obviously, there's some there's some hilariousness in the whole idea, of this occasionally, let's say, right? I think if you want to be treated, for the most part, like everyone else, you have to be able to take a joke, I would say, right? This was a joke. This was just a joke. And what's more equal than being able to take a joke? Because they make fun of everybody, these comedians, right? And if you tell them they can't make fun of something, then they're just going to make fun of it even more. So I think it may just be better just to allow them to consistently do the nonsense, because at least they are, in fact, treating you equal in the eyes of comedy, right? If that makes any sense. All right. Whoa, Dave Chapelle. All right, you absolutely ambushed me on that one there, guys. All right, you did that. I thought I was going to hear an amazing story about an amazing actor doing improv, and you finally met the man, and then all of a sudden, he's method acting, and he's kind of acting like someone else, and then that someone else really is someone who you like, but it's not who you actually want to meet. It's like, listen, bro, I see my favorite actor right there. I want to talk to this man. I want to meet him, introduce myself to this person, and then when you get to that point, he isn't who you thought he was. How do you deal with that mentally? It's rough. I mean, it's a good comparison, I guess, right? It's a really good comparison, but you do talk about it a lot, bro, right? There has to be more, okay? There has to be more we can joke about. Don't get me wrong. Are there things or parts of every single community that's absolutely hilarious? Absolutely. Bro, I laugh at so many inappropriate things regarding people that look like me. I laugh at so many inappropriate jokes, bro. All right, I can take the jokes. I kind of just move on. I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. But you know what? That's kind of funny. Okay, so I'm going to laugh along with everyone else in the crowd. I'm not there, right? But I find it absolutely funny. So I think, personally, if you want to go for equality and be treated equal like everyone else, you have to be able to take an absolute debaucherous joke. And was this a debaucherous joke? It may be, right? But this is kind of what we've come to kind of get from Dave Chapelle and his overall, his sets. This is just what he does, bro. Is it too much? Should we find a new topic to kind of talk on? A little bit, right? Let's just be honest here. It's funny, but there has to be a little bit more, right? Like the last one he did with all types of people sitting in a car. That was another crazy one, right? I mean, he's back to back on this one here, guys, right? Is this joke funny? World class, top tier joke. It is. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day and enjoy your day thoroughly.